right, this is the Wrestling Matters podcast. I'm here at the Northeast Indiana Wrestling Media Day, and I have Coach Riesen from East Noble High School. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, let's get started. So East Noble, how did last year go for you guys? What seniors did you lose? What do you got coming back? Big matches you won. Any details from last year?
Yeah, we were 9-5 in duels last year, so we were third in our conference in the dual meet portion. Finished third at sectionals. Had a pretty solid year. We had a lot of freshmen that ended up having to step in. We had some injuries that we didn't expect, and so we were pretty happy with how the season turned out as a whole. We had a senior, Aidan Sprague, last year. He was one of the better wrestlers in the area. He won the semi-state at 126, so he's graduating. That's going to be big holes to fill. And then really we only graduated at 45, who was a semi-stater, Jalen Belhumer, and Adolfo Herrera, who was our 152 for most of the year. So, we lost some good kids, but we didn't lose a ton of kids. And so, Adolfo was out for part of the year, Jalen was out for part of the year, Aiden wasn't at weight early, so, we got a lot of kids who had experience who are coming back for this season.
Awesome. Now, did you have a kid that went to the ticket round the year before but got injured last year?
So we had Keegan Malott was a senior last year.
Okay.
He went to state the previous 2 years, and he had knee surgery, meniscus, and couldn't wrestle.
We lost him a lot.
Senior year. So that one hurt. And then we had a kid named Blake Byerly.
Okay, Byerly, yeah.
He's a two-time semi-stater at 113 and 120. So as a freshman, sophomore, made it, and he's had that shoulder surgery both years. So hopefully he can stay healthy this year.
Yeah.
He's qualified for the semi-state, and then he wasn't able to compete last year, and the year before he wasn't. He was able to wrestle, but didn't have the injury really hampered him.
Okay. Who do you think will be your leaders on the team coming back this year?
So, you definitely looking at Blake Byerly. He's a two-time semi-stater. He's a really talented kid, and so Blake, with Cody Biddle, he's wrestled for several years now. His brother Riley is going to be a freshman this year, so he's going to hope to fill a spot for us. We've got a ton of juniors and seniors with experience, sophomores and juniors who have a lot of varsity experience, who are really good vocal leaders, who really maybe don't have a name throughout the area yet, but I think, are going to really make a name for themselves this year. Kids like Dylan Krill, Dallas Plattner, Zach Leidy. I've got a good number. Alex Sprague is another one. So we got a good number of them. Have a kid, Jacob Everson, who's a senior at 160, who's been a couple-time regional qualifier. So, we got a lot of guys that are at that regional semi-state level.
Right.
Hoping to make that next step and
break through. Right.
We've got 14 weights where we might not be great, but we're going to have a solid
Pretty competitive.
All 14.
Yeah, I noticed that about you guys. You're very solid, competitive, pretty deep team.
Yeah.
I noticed you mentioned the younger Biddle Riley. Do you think he could have a big impact right away and potentially be a star? When I was looking at the incoming freshman in the semi-state, he passed the eye test. He has a lot of action. There's not a lot of hesitation in his game. Wondered, how do you think he'll be able to do this year?
Yeah, we've actually got, we have a kid named Hunter Smithson, who was a middle school state champion at heavyweight. And heavyweight's a little different beast. We got some depth there. Riley's a guy we're kind of counting on coming in and wrestling varsity for us during the season. But even we've got some depth up there, so it's going to be a tough spot to earn. So if he's able to do that, we plan on whoever's there to be semi-state, state kind of level kid. We have another freshman named Connor Mosley, who's a solid tech kid. He had a really good offseason, so he's going to be challenging in that 120 area. Right there, we've got 2013 we've got 2 semi-staters returning. 26 we've got some decent seniors, and so that's kind of what we have. We have a lot of depth this year, and The freshmen, if they're getting in there, they're going to have to beat some solid kids.
Yeah. Seems like good problems to have, as far as the depth. They'll figure it out amongst each other, but for the most part, it seems not that bad coming into the season.
I like, it's definitely good to have some depth. And for the future, you kind of start building with the weight changes next year and stuff. Kind of start figuring, who's going to graduate and stuff, and you kind of see who's going to replace those guys down the line.
Yeah, and when I looked at, I got to get a look at Hunter Smithson too, and I think he can make an impact right away. I think he'll be ready to go. I was under the impression he could be a guy.
He's a solid kid. We've got three pretty good heavyweights.
Right. Wow.
Who comes out of those three? It's going to be interesting to find out.
That's awesome. Well, that's exciting on East Noble. I'll ask you a couple questions about wrestling, Coach. What was the best win of your career? I'll say either what was the best feeling when you walk off the mat, like I did that, or whether it was the most important or credentialed, like however.
Okay, so if I was to say as a coach, we won the team state when I was at Churubusco, and that was definitely like the coolest event that we won as a coach. And then in high school, I beat a kid named Joel Richmond, who was ranked 16th. I was a varsity guy, but I was not nearly as good as I thought I was. Right. I did get a win over a state-ranked opponent, New Haven wrestler, and so that was one that made me feel pretty good, because generally, if the kid had a state ranking, like, it was just in my head.
Hey, those ranked wins matter.
Hey,
that's awesome.
Few and far between. I wrestled plenty of ranked guys, but I was able to get that one, and he was a solid wrestler.
That's awesome. Well, my last question, Coach Riesen, why does wrestling matter?
Wrestling matters. That's a good question. You got to throw me off there. I didn't expect that. It matters because there's a saying that, once you've wrestled everything in life, it's easy. I don't necessarily believe that to be the truth, but I would say everything is maybe easier or more attainable, and, it just teaches kids. I think that kids a lot of times like to have somebody to blame for something when things go wrong, and it just holds you accountable, and it teaches you, lessons that not every sport can give you. And I think that that's really, why, it's so important to see, boys teams grow, and we've got a growing girls team, so that's a big part for us as well. It's like the same lessons and things that wrestling offers the guys, it's offering the girls, and it's the best sport. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Coach Riesen.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the Wrestling Matters podcast. Good luck to East Noble this season.